Welcome to the 58th episode of News Dump, brought to you by Summit Funding, where we run through the hottest topics in the Lewis County news scene and discuss. I'm Chronicle Associate Editor Aaron VanTuyl, joined as always by Editor-in-Chief Eric Schwartz and the tallest man in denim, Luke Kilgore.
Ooh, he's not even wearing denim.
Yeah, I was about to say, is this the part where I try to save face and tell him that I'm wearing denim when I'm really not?
No, he's really wearing a NBA Jam t-shirt and shorts. Been a long day for Kilgore.
It's been a long day. I was at the ballpark broadcasting the Northwest, or Fast Pitch Northwest.
Oh, geez, man. You're all over the place.
Yeah, I'm grinding, buddy.
Would you call yourself the Ryan Seacrest of the local sports scene?
And in that I am everywhere?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I am, what is it, omnipresent? Omnipotent? Omnipresent?
I think it's omnipresent is what you're looking for. It's not omnipotent.
You're not God.
Oh, well, anyway. Yeah, and then I actually met an umpire at that tourney. No. It was a guy that has actually worked with Eli before and blah, blah, blah. But anyway, I'm wearing this NBA Jam t-shirt with Gary Payton and Sean Kemp, like from the old NBA Jam game. And he's wearing an NBA Jam shirt with Steve Nash and Amari Stoudemire, which obviously was not in the original game. But still, we both were in NBA Jam shirts.
Was he a Suns and Four guy?
Yeah, he's a big fan of Suns and Four guy.
Were you like, oh, the Suns, they sucked in the playoffs? And then he was like, the Sonics, not real.
No, nice. Thanks for that.
It's Monday, August 2nd, and fellas, do we want to get straight into the good stuff? I figured we're all gathered here. We might as well.
We're talking about Governor Cuomo? Finally. He should resign.
We need to have a serious talk about Simone Biles, who should also resign.
What a coward.
Wow.
I take that back immediately. I'm sorry.
No, Simone Biles is great. And Andrew Cuomo, probably not.
Nah, probably not so great.
It's looking like maybe not there.
What?
There were some powerful takes from people I never knew were into women's gymnastics. It's nice to know there's such a large fan base.
Did Cuomo have like the most offensive take about Biles, or I didn't see
Cuomo
his.
did not have a Biles take.
No,
Cuomo
did.
had some a little too touchy-feely kind of stuff.
Oh God.
More of that.
Yes. I don't know why we mix the two stories there and bounce back and forth. The two are not related in any way.
No, they are not. The Olympics are
As
continuing.
someone that was half informed, I was confused.
It's your fault. Everybody knows the Cuomo situation.
Oh no, what a Cuomo! Never mind. It's election season, guys. Mm-hmm. It's primary season. There's a lot of hot election topics out there. Do we want to dive into Tuesday, August 3rd, yesterday, primary election results?
Yeah, well, the first two big changes since Tuesday night's primary election is Lisa Stridinger has pulled into second place in the Centralia City Council race. That's Cameron McGee and Shell Wilder. She was down, she was down by just a handful of votes, maybe one vote on election night. Now she's up by 5 votes, so I heard her talking to reporter Eric Roseanne earlier. She was quite happy to hear the news, though there's still another count that is on the 16th. And then the Napavine fire levy was failing by 19 votes. It is now ahead by 1 vote.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Couple. That's just
a barn burner, baby.
Yeah, Roseanne actually popped by the office while Kilgore and I were prepping for the podcast and informed us a little bit about it. He said, it's a levy lift situation.
Yeah, they were the only local, or I should say Lewis County fire measure that was not passing last night. So Chehalis measure, that one passed with well over 70%.
I'd just like to say that I hope that our listeners appreciated the barn burner pun a lot more than you guys did.
That was pretty good.
I didn't even get it.
Yeah, nice.
Real respectful to the recent barns that have burned down.
Yeah, but that's just a coincidence. I'm sorry. I have nothing to do with that.
We have a tie at the top for the Vader City Council race. I know lots of people want to hear about that. 46 votes apiece for Donna Rogers and Mary Ann McIntosh. So it looks like they're both going to go, but Jason Vance is sitting in 38, so you never know.
These are my favorite elections, the one where you could win with a total number of votes that's equal to like the people you would invite to a good party.
Yeah, like especially in the smaller towns and things. But I was thinking about that last night when I was up late with Eric Roseanne reporting on all this stuff, and it's like some of these races, there's candidates that have like 20 votes, but you know what? We're going to put in the work.
Like the Vader City Mayor, John Shea, has 85 votes and a commanding lead.
So
Curtis Engel gathered 23 votes in his race.
Sorry,
if anybody was wondering.
Yes. Reactors for everyone, baby.
Too bad.
I just want to know who the other 22 people were.
Besides me, I just want
3 of them are right here.
I just want to make it clear that my residency is in Pullman, I do keep a partial ear to the Lewis County pulse.
Do you vote in Pullman?
Do I vote in Pullman?
Yeah, like where are you registered to vote?
Actually, I guess still Chehalis. So they just don't really send me stuff, I guess.
I don't think Kilgore is registered. He's speaking like someone that's not registered to vote.
I am definitely registered to vote. I've lived in Centralia. I voted for Centralia. I've lived in Chehalis and voted for Chehalis too. So
interesting.
I just wish.
Sounds fraudulent.
Yeah. Well. Stacking votes over there.
Might need an investigation.
Shall we move to the rest of the news items, or is there any other election topics we need to jump on?
No, I think that's the long and short of it. Like you said, most of them are very, very small races. There was a 4-person race, and I was interested just to see how it worked out. Chehalis Fire Commission, or for Fire District 6, I guess. They had 4 people in, but Colin Mason just took 986 votes. Second place is 187, Jim Forbes.
He must have been out there knocking on doors.
That's a sign of a door knocker right there.
Yeah, good for Colin Mason.
I don't want to expose myself too much here.
Please don't.
Well, it's audio. Shorts. It's an audio podcast, so. But
I'm sure you could speak offensively.
Since I live in Pullman, I haven't really. There's times where because this was the primary, right? So
yes.
Deciding who the finalists were. There's times where my brain just skips that the primary is a thing, so I read the results as if they're general. And I wonder how many other people do that. Like, just get excited, like, ooh, they won or they lost. And
I'm sure there's lots of, disengaged members of the public that.
Yeah.
And so for the Centralia City Council, for example, the primaries are like district specific, and then in the general, everybody gets to vote.
No, I actually thought that. I had to change that.
Nice.
You know who corrected me on that?
Eric Rosane.
No, Tom Stanton over at the Lewis County Auditor's
No,
Office.
listen,
all right.
But if you're an at-large position, it's citywide. But if it's a specific district, it's just going to be the district voting on it.
Okay, I guess I'm thinking back to the county commissioner race.
So us on the Wanch will be voting in the Cameron McGee Stridinger race.
All right.
So Cammy McGee's winning right now?
Yeah, he's got about 50% of the vote, so the rest is split between the other two relatively evenly. And I guess I shouldn't say the Stridinger vote because we don't really know who's going to advance there just yet.
Can they play me and Bobby McGee at his victory rally?
Probably not.
All right.
Not familiar. You don't need to sing it. I'm just going to cut that one off.
You're not familiar?
I don't think
With Janis Joplin, bro?
What did I just say? Anyway.
Some of these references.
Moving on.
You guys should know that reference.
I know, we should.
I shouldn't.
Well, you're more musically inclined than we are.
Nice.
The Schwartz's musical taste are logged in like his LimeWire downloads folder from 2003.
Accurate. That's scary accurate.
I remember that you do.
I still listen to my CD collection, actually.
The Game and Kelly Clarkson.
The Game.
Yeah. Were you in my car recently? They got Queen in there too. Queen's Greatest Hits.
You still listen to B.O.B.?
It's a 3-disc set. B.O.B., of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like B.O.B. too.
Yeah. You guys had a conversation about Ludacris a couple years ago that's way too vividly.
I think we have that conversation like every 2 weeks. Love Ludacris here.
Big positive. Well, you should replace the intro music. We've got a Royce to 5'9" beat right now, but you could go with something from Luda.
We could do Luda's #1 spot. I think that would be accurate. The song he wrote for the Austin Powers 3 soundtrack.
Yeah.
Yeah, he makes fun of Bill O'Reilly in it. It's a great song.
Wow.
Timely.
Timely and timeless, really.
Just a beautiful. People forget that once upon a time, Ludacris, the star of the Fast and the Furious movies, wrote a banger for Austin Powers 3.
Is that more shocking, or is it more shocking that Beyonce starred in Austin Powers 3? That's so below her station this day and age.
That is crazy.
Yeah, nowadays,
You want to talk about timely. Michael Myers really seized the moment.
Mike Myers.
Mike Myers, sorry, not the killer from Halloween.
No, just the killer comedian.
Yes. Nice.
All right, news items.
Is that what we're here for?
Yeah. Quiet departure of Morton Canine leads to claims of abuse. Morton had a police dog named Camo. Morton no longer has a police dog named Camo.
Come on.
I don't know. There was a story on it, and
I appreciate you keeping the notes short on this. I don't want to throw gasoline on this fire. The long and short of it, at least from my perspective, is we tried multiple times to reach the police chief in Morton to talk about this story. We had the former owner of the dog and the current trainer, I believe, handler of the dog, that kind of gave us this narrative that the dog had become aggressive with his handler. The department gave it back to the original owner. The staff that was training it thinks that it had some signs of abuse, and the information we were given is completely different than the information the police chief put out a good 4 days later after the publication in the form of a 4-page statement that you can find at cronline.com. I always think it's important in these situations to not look like you're hiding anything, and we have absolutely nothing to hide. So now that he did come out and talk with us, it's unfortunate that it became a he said, she said without the he said, because he didn't call first. But the statement's all there. People can read it. He's demanding an apology and a retraction, and I will say respectfully he will get neither.
He's not gonna get it.
No, I see. That's the thing. That's what I do not want to do is antagonize the good people of Morton who support the police department and think that we are the worst people in the world right now for publishing the story. I still think that the story had merit.
It's possible to still have some decent police work and just have one police officer who was a dick to the...
It's possible, but I'm not saying that happened.
It's possible. Kilgore, are you making any elaborate one bad apple?
I'm not going to delve that
Let's just
deep.
go ahead and move on.
One of the people that know Camo down in Texas, I believe, that work with canines had related a conversation from a Morton police officer. So we're literally playing a game of telephone where he said he beat the dog. Morningstar says if he did do anything to the dog, it was after the dog attacked him and bit his face. And so anyways.
Yeah, that justifies all the subsequent actions.
I think anyone that wants to, go to cronline.com. There's an updated story today reflecting his comments, and you can read his full statement.
I do just want to say I'm not going to try to be antagonizing anymore, but
You learned your lesson.
No, I mean just for this one segment. But I read all through it, and I thought that the journalistic process and all of the steps you guys took to make sure it was the most complete and well-rounded story was impressive. And I thought that it did, obviously from the reaction from it, either way, tug at a lot of heartstrings and obviously made an impact, and it was newsworthy. So I applaud you guys for your journalism work on that.
Well, I appreciate that. I understand the chief wanting to defend his officer and defend his department and defend the treatment of the dog as well. But I will note that the statement he made went out on, it was about 1 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday. We still have not received a phone call from the police chief from our call, so he's always welcome to call. Emily Fitzgerald.
Kilgore, thank you for that shining comment. Just a reminder, Luke Kilgore is a phenomenal student at Washington State University's Edward R. Murrow School of Journalism.
He is.
Yeah.
Knows what he's talking about.
Good
night and good
we
luck.
will no longer discuss inflammatory East Louis County matters. Our next topic, Spiffy shuts down for good.
It's not that funny. It's not funny at all.
No, it's not funny. No. The comment was funny. Aaron's segue was incredible.
In a Facebook post, Spiffy's owner, Rod Samuelson, cited workers not wanting to work due to unemployment benefits. I'm paraphrasing. Spiffy's, I believe, racked up around $400,000 in fines from L&I. When was this? Earlier this year, last fall?
It all blurs together.
Yeah. When it was supposed to be closed, for being open when it was supposed to be closed.
And what else?
According to screenshots posted on Facebook, they also picked up some $370,000 in pandemic paycheck loans. It's also worth noting that a militiaman threatened Nightcrawler with a gun in the parking lot after Samuelson had invited Chronicle reporters to cover his business staying open. So there's a lot of history there. And I would point out that I don't think any of us like to see a local business fail. There's employees that work there, and
that
of course,
correct.
It is nice to have a restaurant in that location. It's just kind of unfortunate that all of these things have occurred. The whole timeline of events around Spiffy's is kind of disheartening.
It's sordid.
Given their history and given how long they were in the community, it really is sad to see it go down this way in the last year and a half.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see if something else takes that spot or becomes a restaurant there. Not saying they buy the Spiffy's building or build something new there, but that spot is a very central meeting spot and has been for a long time.
Right, yeah.
It's worth mentioning, too,
gateway to East LC.
His statement to KELA, he won't talk to us anymore after the gun incident. But his statement to KLA was that he is having too hard of a time, or too difficult of a time, finding workers who can actually show up and work. I don't know how accurate that is. I'm sure it played into it somewhat. But I did see some subsequent coverage. He had claimed that the $400,000 in fines was going to be cut in half, but that Inslee's office refused that. And then Inslee's spokesman came out yesterday and said that he has no idea where that came from, and it's absolutely not true.
So they did cut it in half?
No, they didn't. No.
Well, then
I would also like to cite Eric Schwartz's quote from a moment ago in that he won't talk to us anymore after the gun incident are going to be the words printed on his tombstone.
I think that's true. It is hard for me because Nightcrawler is our young. He started working for us as a teenager, so it's hard for us to not become protective of him. So you do get a bit of a bad taste in your mouth when your photographer gets invited out to write about this protest, and then people from outside the area wielding guns chase him off because he looks a little too much like Antifa to them because he's young and has a nice haircut. Was wearing brightly colored.
Well, I mean, nice haircut.
Likely a starter jacket.
No, it's not.
And then after that, ban him from the property at the request of the protesters.
Nightcrawler consistently.
I don't have nothing but rosy feelings for them. That's all I'm saying.
Nightcrawler consistently dresses like he's in a Bad Boy Records music video from
He's doing better.
1999.
He's doing better.
He's doing better.
You say that like it's a bad thing.
I showed up. Please don't forget that I once showed up to cover elections in a Carmelo Anthony jersey.
How do you feel about Carmelo leaving?
That Eric Schwartz gave me.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about Melo leaving the Blazers?
I mean, I'm sad for the Blazers, but he's ring chasing. Blazers aren't going to do it. But I do want to say two things about the Spiffies thing. One, it's not exactly. I mean, to blame the lack of workers solely on the unemployment benefits thing is not exactly fair. Given that, yes, so Spiffy's had that history for 50 years, but the last year and a half was really bad. It was really bad. So maybe some employees, that was the last place that they wanted to go work, surrounded by that polarization and controversy. But also, what was Crawler? 20 years old, something like that. I mean, just
he's a young kid.
A young kid showing up to a place when invited there. I'm 26. I've never had a gun put in my face. You guys ever had a gun?
I don't want to be
put
overly
in your face?
dramatic. He didn't point the gun in his face. They're carrying guns.
Just in the
it's
general
intimidating.
direction.
It's intimidating.
Yeah, like you haven't lived if you hadn't had a gun pointed at your face.
Oh, sorry.
Anyway, let's move on.
Anyway,
Long live Spiffies.
Yeah. Chehalis site renamed Poplar Tree Farm after concerns over plantation, city manager says. So Chehalis city manager Jill Anderson got what she said was a polite email from Rural Americans Against Racism about the tree farm being called a plantation, and the wooden sign out front was in rough shape anyway, so now they're going to call it the Poplar Tree Farm, which, really, I think that's how people refer to it anyway in passing. It's not like, oh, you want to go to the
you ever
bikini
been
coffee
down to the
stand
plantation?
Nobody's like, oh, you want to go to the bikini coffee stand on Highway 6, huh? We'll just head out past the old tree plantation and look to your left. So, this is somehow became a big story. They're replacing the sign and dropping plantation.
See, I didn't think it was a huge story. We got a few phone calls on it, though, and we tried to be responsive. And so we had Roseanne do a story, and then the response, I think, was bigger than the story itself.
Yeah, I guess that's more what I mean.
You could really just rewrite the story as Poplar Tree Farm replaces sign. Like, that's the other thing you could do. But
yeah.
I also have the email here from Rural Americans Against Racism that was sent to Jill Anderson over the city. And it was just a polite, hey, do you think maybe this is like a small thing we could do just in case anyone's offended by it? So I know some people specifically are very unhappy. You could find some of them in the comment section. I just feel like there's other stuff you could be mad about, but I'm not going to minimize their rage.
Yeah, my comment here was, as you can imagine, the Facebook commenters handled this development with their typical equanimity. And it's also worth pointing out,
responses.
The tree farm, whatever you want to call it, this is not exactly a piece of Lewis County history. They put the tree farm in on Hal Hamilton's old chunk of land when I was in college. It's not like Johnny Chehalis planted this when he first settled the area back in the 1800s.
Nice.
So this was this was just, farmland, hayfields, pasture.
So it was just like, oh, by the way, if you guys wanted to take care of this, you could. And then all hell broke loose.
And also, if you just drive by the tree farm and see how they're lined up, you're not going to be left thinking, wow, what a historical tree farm. This is clearly a fairly recent development, in the last 2 decades. So, Anyway, they're renaming it. I think it's fine.
Yeah, if Facebook didn't exist, literally wouldn't matter.
Facebook didn't exist. Yeah.
Yeah.
And even if
we
the
probably
story,
wouldn't be doing this podcast if Facebook didn't exist.
True. And if the story didn't exist, nobody would have noticed this for another 20 years.
Yeah.
Hey, the sign's gone.
Back in my day, that used to say plantation.
Back in my day, that field full of trees was full of grass.
Yeah, I'm among the people that didn't know it was called a plantation until the story.
Yeah, I don't think I really.
It is the literal definition of a plantation, though, correct? I mean,
yeah,
so
plant stuff there.
Yeah,
it's not like nobody's arguing that it's an inaccurate headline or inaccurate name of a tree farm.
It's just There's
a usually large group of plants, and especially trees. It really nails it. I'm just saying.
Accurate. Next item. Buyer of Chehalis Elementary buildings plans for, quote, family-oriented apartments. This is the big tease Eric Schwartz had in our last episode when he just kept Pete Castor and I on the edge of our seats.
Hanging off the
cliff. Just dancing around what's going to happen with the school buildings. So they're going to be apartments. There you go.
Yeah, it was all that excitement. That's what I've been holding back from you.
Yeah. Michael McCowan, who is buying both Ari Bennett and Cascade Elementary buildings. I believe the price is around just shy of $2 million. I think the estimation or the assessment was like 2.5 maybe. Some of those are ballpark figures, but he says his team is planning to convert the pair of structures into residential, family-oriented apartment units that should integrate well into the existing neighborhood in Chehalis. Yeah, it's fine. There was one comment on the story that says, "This is bad news. How are the tiny streets of the area going to accommodate that much increased traffic? Say hello to traffic jams and rush hour problems with people waiting forever on the side streets to try to get onto Market or Cascade."
That's so crazy. It's almost like there's a bunch of road that could be, a playground even, that could be removed and freed up.
They're going to make a park.
Oh, are they?
I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, are they going to, they're going to make them like fancy apartments with a whole outdoor basketball court and an indoor gymnasium?
I don't know. I don't think they have the plan set finalized. They haven't started construction yet or finalized the sale.
I wondered, what are they going to have to do to those buildings, though? Do we know as far as how outdated the buildings are?
They're keeping the buildings. They're not getting rid of the buildings.
Well, what are they going to have to do to get it up to code, though? Isn't there not...
Probably spend some money on them.
Nice, dude. You really delivered with that answer.
I mean, I don't know what else you want.
Yeah, nobody has
was there asbestos in there? Like what?
We don't have the inspector's report here. It's just a story of the guy that is probably buying them saying, here's what I'm probably going to do eventually.
Eric, I just complimented you guys on the fantastic journalism that exhausted every route. This story, not quite it. You didn't do that.
Here we go. The preeminent journalism evaluator in...
More like the comical, region. Am I right, folks? Ha!
You're the first person to ever say that.
Wow.
Yeah, well, I'm switching sides now, buddy.
I love the comments on Facebook when they see a story they don't like. They're like, that's what we call it the comical. It's like, wow, you really knocked it out of the park.
It's cutting edge.
Yeah.
I heard that my first week working at the Chronicle because I told somebody where I was working at Little Caesars. It's like 2004. Hey, I got a job at the Chronicle. You mean the comical? And I was like, oh, that's clever. And then I realized later he didn't come up with it.
He certainly was not the originator.
And then they slid that pizza into a box and stuck it on the shelf to wait for somebody to pay $5 for it. And they looked down upon you.
Yep. We did not have hot and readies there at Little Caesars at the time.
That's all hot, but that's all Little Caesars is.
But they were not hot and readies at the time.
Is the pizza good? It's hot and it's ready.
Listen, bro. Yeah, I mean, yes, it's mediocre pizza, but if you get the stuffed pepperoni crust, it's stuffed with cheese and pepperoni. It's really good. Dipping sauce is pretty good.
And now it's turning into a Little Caesars commercial.
Anyway, next news item. We've got a lot of Chehalis news in this episode.
We also had East LC news.
A little bit. Interim leader Randy Kaut named new Chehalis police chief. So Randy Kaut is a 33-year veteran of the Chehalis Police Department, and on Monday he was named as the new chief of the department. He had been running the department on an interim basis after the, I believe, resignation of Glenn Schaefer.
Yeah, he's working in HR, I believe, for the city now.
City manager Jill Anderson said Kaut, who is 56 years old, has a proven track record of being a logical, fair, and a reasonable leader of the highest integrity. So congrats, Randy.
Yeah, congrats, Randy. That seems like.
Did you know? Fun fact: I believe he has a twin brother.
What's his name?
Rick Kaut.
Oh, the insurance agent.
Yeah.
And Chris Kaut's dad.
I think I know a quick fact about him. Isn't he also son-in-law to Coach Ron Brown?
That I do not know.
I'm embarrassed that you don't know that, Aaron.
I'm surprised I don't know that
The fact
either.
that you don't have Ron Brown's whole family tree is appalling.
Well, I know about his sons, Tim Brown and...
Not his son-in-law,
what's the other one's name? I can't remember now.
Nice.
Well, we just had, I don't know how it didn't end up on the podcast, or did it? Maybe it did. We had the Ron and Jeanette Brown celebrate 60 years of marriage, and that was...
Was that last week?
It was July 22nd that they celebrated it, but just in listing off their children, they included Julie and Randy Cout of Centralia.
There you go.
Yeah, okay. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So,
Cool.
yeah,
The more you know.
33 years with the police department. And
it's a good run.
It's a great run.
Has he ever arrested you?
No, I've never been arrested. That's ballsy.
You haven't lived until you've been arrested.
Nice.
Congrats, Kilgore. Never be. You go to Wazoo.
I'm 26.
Yeah, I guess it's tough
During
to get arrested.
COVID.
I guess it's tough to get arrested in Pullman if you're over the age of 21.
What are they going to tell me? You're really loud. Sir, that's just
Also,
how
you
I
say
always
that like
am.
everybody at WSU gets arrested at some time in their stay.
If you didn't,
You went to
apparently it wasn't
WSU.
worth it. Yeah. How's the clink?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
People get arrested in Colfax, not Pullman.
Yeah. I got a ticket close to Colfax.
Everybody gets a ticket in Colfax.
But the judge helped me amend it to a non-moving violation. Now I know my options in court.
That's great. Other Shayless news, Penny Playground and Shayless Sports Complex grand opening to be held Friday. That's this Friday, 5:30 p.m. for Penny Playground.
Wait, we're doing the grand opening now?
They're going to have ice cream. Yeah, I thought it already
You know, we've all been partying at Penny Playground, and I was just at the Shayless Sports Complex today and yesterday.
It's a ceremony. They're going to officially open it. They meant to have this with fanfare early on, but they held off on it for a while to, the place was run over by a hit-and-run driver.
Oh,
for
yeah,
one.
that does make it
And then
different.
prior to that, they didn't want to have a bunch of people, I think, together for COVID, so there's that. So, yeah, it's just a get-together. But right after that, music in the park over Recreation Park. And
Hey, Billy Gilman's going to be there.
Billy Gilman's going to be there. We had a nice story on Billy Gilman. Claudia talked to him, thought it was very nice. But here's the headliner, folks. The 5 Little Miss Friendly finalists, they're going to be at Music in the Park.
What?
Get there or you will miss out.
Be there
Oh, man.
or be square.
Are you calling Kyle Spur in from Bend to get over there and cover it?
Claudia Yaw is actually our assigned.
yeah.
She's on the Little Miss Friendly beat this year. We have a nice story on Little Miss Friendly with every winner ever in tomorrow's life section. So
Wow.
pick that up.
Does Claudia rank them?
No. Yes,
That's you, the power
chronologically.
rankings, bud.
Chronologically.
When's the last time you did a power rankings, Aaron?
Oh, I want to say like 2017,
Yeah,
2016.
the state's jaded you, buddy. You can't even have a good opinion on positive things anymore.
Yes. Yeah, Power Rankings was full of my positive opinions on things. This is good. Guys, I don't have a good setup this week. Have either of you found a dream home lately? You looking about moving houses?
Yeah, I got a rat problem. Trying to find something without rats.
Schwartz, when you find a home without rats, and we know we've discussed at length the situations with you and rats. I won't get into details, but there are many.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
We're winging it, bud. Keep going.
Character assassination.
If you find that dream home with no rats, probably up on a hill, maybe.
Hopefully.
Maybe a houseboat.
A houseboat on a hill? Yes.
Yeah, Alpine Lakes. Mm-hmm. When you find this dream home, how are you going to pay for it? You got
I have
some
no idea. I don't understand that side of things.
You got some money in your pocket?
A little bit.
$20, $30?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
You probably need like another $5, and then you can get started. You all you got to do is take that $35. I can't tell you if this is accurate or not. Take it over to Jasek Gillespie at Summit Funding and be like, Jasek, I got $35 and little Bowers piggy bank. There's probably $17 in here. How about a house? And he'll say, get the hell out of my office. But if you have a realistic idea and plan, talk to Jasek over at Summit Funding. They're the home loan experts. He'll hook you up with everything you need to know, and he'll explain the process. You can call him up, 330-4037. That's his office line. You can send him a fax, maybe fax him a picture of the piggy bank, whatever. 360-205-4099. Email him, Gillespie, that's Gillispie, team at summitfunding.net. He's got an office at 1616 South Gold Street in Centralia. And Kilgore, he's kind of your boy, too. You like Jasek.
He's my boy. And he's got a really good support team. He's got a full office in there, and they all work hard and go the extra mile to make sure you have the best experience possible.
But what if all you have, like Schwartz, is $30 in a piggy bank and like a dream of a houseboat on a mountain?
Well, I'm sure if you do fax him the picture of that piggy bank, he'll accept it as proof of income, and you're in.
That sounds great. Phenomenal. There you go, Schwartz. And remember, use promo code NewsDump to get 50% off your first houseboat.
Does he realize that 50%?
No.
Okay.
That is 100% accurate.
Does he know that we're making all these promises on the pod?
I don't know. I don't think he does.
It has to be the most entertaining ads.
The
Lewis
best
County,
ads
right?
in Lewis County
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, by
Just
far.
winging it. You guys ready for Tales from the Takes page? We've really only got one entry this week.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so Brian Mickey wrote a column, our boy Brian,
Our boy.
celebrating the great women of our shared local history. So there's an exhibit at the Lewis County History Museum about important women in Lewis County. And Brian touches on a few of the entries they have in the exhibit. There's Eliza Barrett, an independent-minded early developer of Chehalis. There's Jean Bloom, a teacher, historian, and author. There's Kelsey Monroe, a visionary thespian.
That's an actress.
There's Mary Borst, Centralia pioneer of resilience and class. There's Margaret Corbett, founding mother of Centralia College. Edna Fund, public servant and community enthusiast, former county commissioner. Matilda Jackson, pioneer woman. Patty Morton, America's first female diplomatic security agent, and then a number more. And then Mickey adds his own list of 25 historically great Lewis County women, and I liked his list. It was pretty good.
I'm going to ruffle some feathers here and say with some exceptions, I think Mickey's list is better than the museum's list. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Wow.
Gasp.
There's some names on the museum list, obviously a lot of names that would absolutely have to be on the list, but they're adding names as they go, though, as I understand it.
I didn't see any major sports stars on there.
That's a good point. Maybe you should suggest some.
I should email the museum.
Nike McClure?
Yeah, Nike McClure, she was pretty good.
Parker sisters, sorry, not twins.
The Parker sisters were pretty good. I'm trying to think of
Mitch Guller, who's kind of important.
It's
No, that's not a woman. Sorry. Oops. Strike that. Reverse it.
You should nominate his little sister Tanner, though.
I don't think we could keep that. I don't know.
I think Vernetta Smith's got to be on there, right?
She's not on there?
Mother of...
Library.
Okay. Well, yeah, I know
Well,
she's
no.
on the library.
She's-
She's
yeah,
got
the
to be
library.
on the list, I feel like, just for the children she produced, if nothing else.
Yeah, great work there.
I mean, just for every person that's got something named after them in the area.
Yeah.
I mean, shouldn't they make it there?
I'm trying to think of notable. Anyway, yeah, it was a good column.
Those guys'
Miss
history?
Yardbird?
Kemp? What about pretty much like a lot of the Centralia College women?
Any famous Miss Lewis counties?
No, not that I'm aware of.
Oh, well, one of them went. Who was Jordan Hall? Went on to be Miss Wyoming. That's notable.
That's true. Yeah.
She had to go to a super team to do it. But
Have you noticed that Mickey has added a dad joke of the week to his column?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
What's he got this week?
He's got this one came from his 10-year-old son. What do you call a countless number of Brazilians?
It's a Brazilian.
A Brazilian, yes.
it's
a regular deer thing there.
Yes.
was that supposed to be like, what do you call a countless number of people from Brazil? Because I feel like that would be a better delivery.
Well, why don't you email Mickey's child?
But honestly, so like I know the second Space Jam just came out. So if we could take like some sort of basketball or book, and Mickey could just share his energy with like half of the population of Lewis County, or the world, really, I think that we'd all be in a very much better place.
What does that have to do with Space Jam?
Because like Charles Barkley wasn't it, or all of them had their talent stolen, like in the basketball.
So you're saying if Mickey's talents were stolen and held in an edition of the Chronicle?
I mean, that's not really what I'm getting at, but
All right,
something supernatural.
Let's move on.
Something supernatural.
People's Champion of the Week. We have
Brian
two
Mickey.
entries.
Oh.
Yes, Brian Mickey for making a list of women.
No, he's done many things. Stop it.
Centralia College student earned state championship in second college speech contest. Did you guys see this? Have you heard about this?
Ooh.
Tony Messineo gives his award-winning speech an American hero, and he won a award.
Do you know the pronunciation on that, Schwartz?
No, I don't.
It's a print publication.
Yeah, it's a Pierce County guy, I think, who goes to
Thanks,
school at
bud.
Centralia College. I like the second one.
Yeah, the second one, Toledo quarterback Wyatt Neff, who bought a van to drive all of his pals to practice, football practice, and also probably, watershed.
Yeah, you didn't
maybe.
read the story at all,
Are you
did you?
serious? You had to say that. Check the Facebook.
He bought the van to drive them to Thorbeck so they could work out because their gym is currently closed for construction.
Yeah, well, it looks like he bought an old Toledo School District van.
He did.
Which is, it's
For
right there in the
$100.
picture.
Yeah.
It's a sweet
$100
deal.
bucks?
Yeah.
It's a smoking deal.
Yeah, I think he got it surplused, but that was a scorebook
so
story
cool.
first. And
Why didn't Toledo let me know they're selling vans for $100?
You got to check the surplus sites.
That's insane.
It didn't run either when he bought it, so he had to also fix it.
Oh,
good for him.
Well, that adds a whole nother layer to it as well.
But I still don't think they're going to fit the whole football team in that thing.
It's just an
they're
Astro
creative.
van.
It's Toledo. They'll be creative.
We'll squeeze them in there.
Wait, so did we? I mean, those are two fantastic people.
Do you have an entry as
well?
well?
No, did I wasn't here last week and I didn't listen with Pete on.
Oh, you don't like Pete, huh?
Yeah, huge Pete Caster hater. But did we bring up the Green Hill inmate who won the music competition?
I don't think we did. No, I think that came out after the podcast last week. That was cool.
Okay, well, that was really cool, and I think that deserves to be in consideration as well.
All right, well, they're all three of them in there. Do we have more on the Green Hill fella?
Oh, yeah, I think we had 2 articles, didn't we?
No, we had
Just
one
one?
article, yeah.
Of him winning it? Because he won the whole damn thing, right?
Yeah. I mean, to sure bring up a story that's not on the notes. It's very responsible.
Well, that's me wanting to make sure we were really comprehensive in this podcast.
Yeah, Tim Kuehler, he is a resident or inmate, if you will, at Green Hill, and he submitted a Kids Got Talent entry, and he came in first place, and he's going to be flying across the country to Nashville to perform at a national conference. So, pretty cool.
I just want to note also in that article, we make sure to mention that one of the higher ups at Green Hill kind of bookmarked that in her memory and noticed his talent. So I want to give kudos to her for really caring about the residents or inmates or whatever in Green Hill. I mean, really, you can tell that that's someone who is passionate about their job and cares about the individuals in there. So kudos there as well.
Yeah, that's the superintendent, Jennifer Redman. And yeah, she did hear him sing. So he has probably the best voice she has ever heard in her life.
Yeah. So thank you, Jennifer. That's awesome.
Yeah. And we are moving on to Siren's Banger of the Week. I didn't see anything super exciting this week other than a male subject reportedly shot a woman with a paintball gun at the intersection of Northwest Chamber Commerce Way and Louisiana Avenue at 4:20 p.m. on July 31st.
Such a strange time. Like, people, there's traffic. That is in the middle of the day.
Just driving around with your paintball gun, shooting
You guys
people.
are talking like two people who have never driven around with your paintball gun shooting out of the window.
Oh, nice.
Am I the only
Way to
one?
out yourself, Bob.
Is that a big
Teenagers
Forks
do
thing?
stupid things.
Yeah, but you're doing that in Forks where all you could shoot was like,
A tree?
prospective shooting
vampire,
locations from the
maybe?
Twilight series.
We used to have pillow fights where we'd all meet at Thriftway.
You could have run
and
period after fights.
It's in vehicles. You do 2-person teams, and you race around town trying to peg the other people's vehicle with the pillow. And if you get hit, you're tagged, and then you try to hide. We would do that for like 4 or 5 hours at a time.
Wow.
So pillow
When we weren't
jousting.
paintballing out the window.
You should shoot a tourism video for Forks with all
It's
that.
unbelievable.
Pillow fights.
It's unbelievable that you are as normal as you are now. Unbelievable. Well, so wait, was that for sure someone out of their car, or was it a drive-by, or was it a run-up?
It doesn't say.
Damn it.
Yeah, I don't
The
know.
context is very important here. Also, random crap is always happening by the chamber building.
Yeah, you mean over where Walmart? Weird.
Yeah, well, you're really going to categorize that whole area by Walmart, Aaron?
Well, Chamber of Commerce
Nice.
Way and Louisiana Avenue is the intersection.
Oh, yeah, that is right by Walmart.
So, yes. Most of the Sirens items do occur on Louisiana Avenue.
Good times.
Yeah. Facebook comments of the week. You guys ready?
I suppose.
Let's
On
go.
the Chehalis Tree Farm name change, comment, that's not a very Poplar name.
Was that Midgey?
No.
Okay.
Another comment, someone wants to just be politically correct. Waste of time and
Let
taxpayer
me
dollars.
just tell for the
Those are in all
listeners,
caps.
you alter your voice when it's all caps. I was just not
Yes.
trying to hook you up.
Nothing better to do with her time, maybe her own agenda, than sheeples just go along with it. Our country is being ruined,
Oh
history
my
being
God.
destroyed. Again, the history in this case is a
Non-existent.
government tree farm that has been there since the mid-2000s.
And
Yeah, I come from the South, and I know a lot of people that are not very happy about like monuments getting taken down, and this does not come close. We're talking about a sign replacement here.
Yeah, nobody
that's how I
fought
feel
and
about it
died
anyways.
in a war over.
plantation.
I hope the Lewis County Historical Museum calls you and you're wrong. You missed the Poplar War of 1974.
Oh, I didn't have to serve, college boy?
There's Poplar War reenactments.
It's just crazy. Like the sign was going to get replaced anyway.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Eventually, yes.
Yeah.
In a story on Public Can Comment on Mount Rainier Air Tours, somebody just said, it's not going to fly.
That's pretty good. I like this. We're gonna
wait. We're just gonna do all puns for comments.
Where do we stand on
these?
Where do we stand on Mount Rainier Air Tours, Kilgore? That might ruin people teeing off on your mountaintop golf course at Mount Rainier.
That's right.
What are we talking about right now?
I remember we talked about the resort at Mount Rainier, and you're like, "What if there was a golf course on top of the mountain?"
Holy crap! I don't.
And we were like,
remember
"I don't
that
think you
far.
know how golf or mountains work."
That was years ago.
On the editorial from the owners of this fine publication about the newspaper and its previous owners, the comment just says, "Love the new paper. Was ready to drop the other."
Wow.
Still the same paper.
Really changed.
I heard they brought in a dynamic new overall editor to run things, and he booted the old sloppy editor who only ate instant ramen right out the door.
No, I thought
Accurate.
Coralie and Chad did a nice job on that column. It was to announce that, the paper's back up to its full pre-pandemic glory of 3 sections. We got your sports section back, got your cartoons back, we got a full page of puzzles, ready to roll now.
I wish they put like neon cursive in front of or in between the and Chronicle, and it just said new.
It did
The
suck.
new
It did suck.
Chronicle.
It's like people seem to not remember. We would drop down to a 12-page main section and a 4-page like insert. So now we have 2 additional sections. It's just nice. It doesn't feel good putting out a tiny paper.
All
Yeah,
right.
definitely
And,
huge on your guys' end.
And props to Jennifer LaFramboise Falcon for getting us over the hump.
There was a photo posted to Facebook of a sailboat sinking in Lake Mayfield. Some of the comments, "I love you, Jack. I'll never let you go."
Okay, they were funny this time.
They
around.
were too much weight in the stern.
Nice.
That's not what causes the sailboat to sink.
Yes, it is.
And
Shut
another
up.
note: every year someone dies on that lake. Is that true?
Mayfield Lake.
Really?
I don't know about every year, but most years,
Yeah,
I'd
they
say.
should have wrote like occasionally someone dies on that lake, which
It's
is true
not-
of every lake.
I
Don't most lakes somebody dies on?
I'm going to say it's not, in my knowledge, ever been a boat sinking, like right next to shore that did it.
Yeah, like people aren't. Yeah, nobody is like, my boat's sinking in Mayfield.
That photo was just sent
Gotta go
in, and I
down with
had
the
next
ship."
to no context except for where it was at and when, and I
Did
just
Michael
thought
send it
readers
in?
would like to see this, and I posted it, and it was like our most popular post of the weekend.
Did
People love
Michael-
seeing that
did-
sunk boat.
Did Michael send the photo in with a comment? "I took this from my lakeside mansion."
No, he didn't.
On the Morton Camo police dog situation, the comment, "This is what happens when your police force is ran by a real-life version of Chief Wiggum." That's a Simpsons reference.
Nice.
On the Spiffy
I'm sure I
situation,
know who had that comment, actually.
this is a website comment on Spiffy's. "Oh no, that's a shame. Not. Even without Samuelson being ignorant to science and facts, the food there was never any good."
I'm sure there were some comments that are very
Okay.
much going to miss Spiffy's.
Yeah, there were a lot of them.
Throwing
Aaron-
those in there.
I sent you, personally, like 4 or 5 comments that
Oh
were
yeah,
great
we
fodder.
swapped some takes. We're not
And-
going to get into those.
And you put this one on there?
I'm sorry. Some of those comments were.
Eric has infected you.
Eric would not like those comments.
Yeah, well,
And one last comment on a video of the Eugenia Center's ribbon cutting ceremony. The comment just says, "This is for quitters." I believe it's a rehab facility.
Eugenia is definitely a rehab facility.
Right, it's a good comment. It's literally for quitters. I mean, we had 3 very good, witty, between this, "It's Not Going to Fly" on the Mount Rainier one, and what was the other one? "That's Not a Very Popular Name." I mean,
Wait a minute.
did those all 3 come from the same commenter is what I'm
I don't
wondering.
No,
think
Eric.
they did.
Eric, you found these comments, didn't you?
No,
No, these were mine.
What is up with the lightheartedness? Why don't you? Where's the sarcasm? Where's the cynicism
You
and
know,
ignorance?
some days, it's been almost 10 days since our last podcast, and you spend that much time wading through the comment section on Facebook, and sometimes you just it's like watching the news and then being like, you know what, I need to watch Ted Lasso. I need to watch something lighthearted
lighten
and
it up.
fun.
So you want a reprieve from ignorance?
Yes.
Because I really enjoy making fun of dumb people on this podcast.
Well, there's still going to be plenty of that. Don't worry.
All right.
And with that, I think we're going to wrap up this edition of
Send an
News
email
Dump.
to news@cronline.com if you want to make fun of Kilgore and consider him a stupid person.
Yeah, and
You
also,
could.
if you have general comments or questions you want to ask the podcast and things we need to discuss, go ahead and email Schwartz or news@cronline.com.
News@cronline.com, yeah.
That's the email account that Schwartz has.
I
that
keep
has
waiting.
50,000 unread emails in it.
It's got a lot.
I can't wait, and like I keep feeling like I'm gonna get some sort of negative comments, but they just never come. Are you guys hiding them from me?
No, people just do it
No,
behind
we
your
wouldn't
back.
protect you like that.
Behind my back.
Yeah. We wait until you leave, and then we're like, man, Kilgore really just...
It's a terrible show.
All right. As always, rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts. You can also subscribe on Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, or you can listen on the Cronline website. It's right down the left side. There's a nice little media
Banner.
player
It's a
deal
banner.
there.
Oh yeah.
So,
Options.
yeah, and if you want to go watch some baseball, go check out what do you do? Callis Black Bears? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, but I'm done now, buddy.
No, season's over?
Well, they've got one more homestand, but I'm going to be in Cabo in a tropical storm.
Going to Cabo?
I don't want you guys to know
He's
exactly
going to
where I am.
Cabo. You went to Florida, Alabama, and I spent 2 nights at Miller-Sylvania State Park over the
Attaboy.
weekend.
Yeah, I had
We're all
I
winning.
had
Look
a
at us.
great time in Florida, Alabama.
Yeah, so I'm supposed to go to Cabo, and for half of the days, it's going to be thunderstorming, and we're supposed to get over like 3 3/4 inches of rain in 3 days.
Well, that's cool. Cabo's fun, man.
Did you just hear? Do you know how much rain that is?
Yeah, I'm aware of how rain works.
Yeah, well, yeah. There's liquor spouts in our rooms, so if I get stuck up there, then we'll see. It's going to be a great time. It's Cabo. It's fantastic.
All right, have fun in Cabo, Kilgore. Thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you next week.
Bye-bye.